So we are here talking about Ghana football. We've spoken about girls football. We've spoken about girls football. We've spoken about beach soccer futsal. We've spoken about the development and the investment needs of our top tier leagues. We've spoken about the needs for investment in infrastructure, the introduction of our BAS strategy, etc., etc. That should tell all of us here that the reflective period has taught us big lessons. We have engaged a lot, and we accept where we have been wrong. The notes that I've espoused here speaks to this fact. The reflective period has also emboldened us to take very, very decisive decisions that will ensure, to quote the words of the Speaker of Parliament, the Black Stars and our national teams must rise from the ashes of setbacks. And we are very committed towards this. What we have said here is a testament of our commitment towards fixing the problems. I know all of us love our Black Stars. And our Black Stars players do love all of us. And all of us are committed towards fixing the problems with the Black Stars. Indeed, that journey has already started with a search for a new trainer for our Black Stars. When we find the new trainer, it is our collective decision and determination to stay for a long haul with a new set of trainers for our Black Stars and for all our national teams. Our leagues is a reason why we are calling on all stakeholders, all underlined. The government, the media, our clubs, to join hands on this journey. We, as servants, cannot do this alone. We need you, and we need you more than we ever think. If we kill our players when things go bad, we are likely not to find the players. That is why I've always said that in good times and in bad times, let's stay with our players. And let's leave those decisive but important decisions to the technical team to take. We can build this football industry with your support. We can do it. I know, and we know, this will take time. But because we love our football, sometimes we want the results now and now. It will come. It will come. With your support. I thank you so much, Vice President, colleagues. We are ready to listen to you. We want you to ask all the questions you may have on your chest. Please don't leave any on your chest. We have time to listen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Ket Edwin Simeon Okram. So colleagues, the council is now ready for your questions. I will pass the microphone on. You raise your hand, you mention your name, ask your question. Thank you. Kepler, please, I need you here.
Right, so I think I'll set the ball rolling with the first question. This is to the entire council. There is a perceived notion out there that the FA, the current regime, is anti-media. Okay, my name is Nathaniel Ejay. I'm a freelancer currently. And there's a perceived notion out there that the current regime is anti-media. And that is mainly based on the fact that especially the Black Stars are always hidden away from the media. I would want the council to take this opportunity to address that if indeed that is the case. If it's not the case, why is that perceived notion out there?
Your question. All right. My name is William Bansinkum from Media General. My question has to do with the budget. The budget, we understand some $8.5 million was raised for the AFCON campaign. And I mean, some of your critics have even had the cost to compare the Ghanaian budget to that of Nigeria, which we understand was $1.3 million. Namibia, we understand, was some $1.1 million. I stand corrected. Why the floating $8.5 million? And of course, I also want to follow up with this. The ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Okujetua Blakwa, who has been releasing series of files and what have you, has also suggested that he and together with other colleagues of his will file a motion to probe the $8.5 million budget and all of that. So I just want to get your reaction on these developments.
The next one.
My name is Michael Asaribo, Super TV, Super FM. President, there was a scrimmage in Ivory Coast in the aftermath of Ghana versus Mozambique involving journalists. It eventually led to a tirade where some journalists verbally abused the coach and some of the players. I want to know your take on that. And the second one goes to Madam Gifty. What is the current situation on the bonuses that have not been paid as regards the black queens and the black princesses? Because it looks like it's a drug issue. And why is it that when it has to do with their bonuses, it normally delays and is not paid swiftly as compared to the Black Stars? Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Eugene Kwame and I'm sorry. Please, I'd like to know from the committee that after the election, there was a coach, Coach Amasia, being elected onto the Executive Council. A committee was formed to select or choose a coach for the senior national team, but he was excluded. So I want to know the reason behind his exclusion of the committee. Thank you.
The last one,
Mohammed Said, please, I want to ask that why is the GFA sometimes hide some key appointment of the FA from the media? For instance, when Bernard Lepret leave, we did not saw any statement about Bernard Lepret in the Ghana Football Association. Thank you.
all right, so that will be it for now. Jim, I'll come back. That will be it for now. And the council will respond.
Okay, so I will invite lawyer Prosper Ado to take the question relating to the media. Vice President Mark will speak about budgets. Of course, I'll have to react because that question was directing to me on behavior of journalists. Gifty will speak about bonuses. We see how people No, I'm just joking. The GS will react to that, and he will also react to the last one, which has to do with the non-announcement or otherwise of the departure of the non-independent.
Good morning.
Let me take the last one, Bernard. If you check with the DF website, you will know that the story was posted. We can all check. Please, just go for you see the story. It is there. We publish that he has finished his tenure with us and he said some of the achievements that were achieved during his stay as the technical director of the canal. This area has been more media friendly than ever. Myself, a media person, the president, a media person. In fact, there are more media persons on the school today than ever. The whole media person. If you look at the work we do, from the GPL, the WPL, the UL, you will notice that we brought the concept of the venue media officers who work daily with us. So there are more media people working with the FA now. Again, engagements with the media, we've had engagement with SWAT, we've had engagements here, we've had trainings here. Now to zero in on the BLACKSTARS. When we go to tournaments, there are rules. You take the World Cup, there are rules that when you break, we pay fines. So when the guidelines are given to us, we will guide our media accordingly. As we progress, we can have a media day where we can host our media. So it is not true that we do not engage when the national teams are playing. The thing is that we have to organize it within the rules of the competition. Now, for instance, some of you, I said some, not all, they don't know. But when you go to the World Cup, the entire place where the BLACKSTARS, the national team is lodged, is assigned by FIFA. We cannot do anything about it. The entire building and the street in front of the building belongs to FIFA. If you allow certain things, the fines will be on us. The same for training. When they give the time for the media to cover maybe 15 minutes, the first part of the training, and they say you should not, even for the association, there are things you cannot post at the tournament. When we post, there will be sanctions. So filming, training, there are rules. And then also, and more importantly, the FA would have to create the environment conducive for the coach and his players. So when the coach asks the FA that we will do things a certain way, we have to make sure that they have exactly the plan they want. That is the help we can give to the team to deliver for us. So some of the areas we leave to the technical team to decide. I know as a journalist, sometimes it's difficult, but that is the help the FA can give to the team. We'll continue to engage with the coaches so that they also see the need to also allow, but you can also, we have to also allow them to shape the team the way they want. You will notice that in our training these days in the coaching licensing, there is media training for the coaches so that they appreciate more the relationship between teams and the media. So we'll continue to improve on that. Now to our ESCO member, the committee working to select the coach, when they finish, will submit their report to the ESCO, of which the CRPR is part of. You will notice his current situation is said that he cannot appoint him to be on the forefront in terms of the committee, but he will definitely be part of the deliberations and the decision making as an ESCO member, because there are regulations. It is the ESCO that makes the decision. And if you look at the publication said the committee will submit their report to the ESCO before a decision is taken. If you look at the story, then you see the engagement lines. The committee does its work, there's engagement with the key stakeholder as government, and then the ESCO takes a decision. So in that decision making, all the deliberations are here to traffic. Thank you very much.
Good morning. As regarding the budget, I know this has been a topical point in the media, and also I think there's always been a lot of misconception about how budgets are prepared for the national teams. Okay, so we have, let me go through some of the process, and then I'll address the question in that context. Usually the budgets are prepared at the FA. So these are indicative. So based on historical reference. For example, in this scenario when the BLACKSTARS were preparing to go to the tournament, some of the key variables that goes into the preparation will be buying tickets for the players. Most of the players are coming offshore. So when the coach indicated earlier that the tournament and the training tour will be Johannesburg, you make the assumption that all the players will be flying. Some will fly to Ghana because they want to break, and then you buy them tickets from Ghana to Johannesburg. Some will fly maybe directly from where they are based to Johannesburg. So in that scenario, that is part of the later cost. And then you also have to factor in that if you were flying from Johannesburg to the tournament, that will also be chartered flight. Chartered flights are very expensive for that matter. And then you factor in where they'll be based in terms of the hotel, transportation, feeding, the medical logistics, everything that bonuses. And bonuses are the biggest part of the whole budget. About 70% of the budget is mainly bonuses. So that is only one component, the budget that is being built. And then you build on, after they fly to Abidjan, the CAF covers a portion of the stay. I think it's about 40, but beyond 40, and you know, the contingent is about 70, relatively, about 70 in all. So that additional numbers also have to be covered in terms of their stay, their feeding, transportation, it all has to be covered as well. And then you build on the model as on the basis that game 1, game 2, game 3, there are bonus components that comes with the qualification. When they qualify, this is how much they make. And you also build an assumption. You build as if you are going there to win the tournament. So everything is built on the assumption that after the qualification, your next round 16, 18, quarterfinals, semifinals, and final. this is presented because you don't want to be in a situation when you are in the middle of competition and you are calling the Minister of Sports to say, wait a minute, you didn't plan. So it's better to be totally prepared in that scenario. So that is how it's done. You build from ground zero all the way to the top. And that's what we've done. It's all indicated for what we think is going to happen. And what the FA has done is they scrutinize it with the sit down with the ministry, scrutinize it, and when it's completed, we present it to them. So that is our job. Once that is done, as to the actual money which gets approved, as to the actual amount that is actually spent, the FA has no input in that. The FA does not receive any money from the ministry as to specifically to spend on any item. As a matter of fact, the ministry has an accountant, a purse holder, who is embedded in the team. So for every particular expenditure, they go to this accountant, and he also check on the budget. This is there, this is not there, this is there. So the perception that the ministry has spent 8.5 million, I mean, that's the perception. The actual money they spent, honestly, I don't think anybody in the FA knew, because we didn't advance from our group stage. So I think it is very important to understand that from the FA perspective, once we prepare what we think is going to happen and present it to the ministry, the onus is on the ministry as to how and where what is approved. We have no idea. Okay, so let's separate the two. And then the ministry have somebody embedded in the contingent. For example, they'll say, well, we need to go and buy some spices. They have to go and justify that to the press holder. You look, okay, this is approved. So everything is by the line item based on the budget that is prepared. Now, I also want to debunk another misconception. You know, it's so sad sometimes people get on the media space and that start throwing numbers around. Nobody can tell me that Nigeria spent only 1.215. It is fake news. I'm telling you, we know. It is fake. We communicate with them all the time. All the numbers that they are throwing about, they can say you can go and they make it seem like it is so justifiable. You know, sadly, we sometimes kill our own self by virtue of, you know, using information, derogatory information, which may not necessarily be with the right information. And it is important that you go to the source, to the ministry, and then they can tell you how much money they spent. For example, we didn't go to Joburg for the tournament. Does it mean that the money was spent? Obviously not. That money was not spent. You know, so we just have to be more circumspective about how we go about, you know, portraying ourselves, because in the end of the day, we are just sending the bad, negative press on our own product that we are trying to promote. From the FA perspective, every game that we go, we play, every tournament that we go through a thorough process, putting all these numbers together, and we present to the ministry, and the ministry's responsibility to get them, seek the approval, and to see and also decide what to spend on and what not to spend on. I think that's what I think is the Thank you.
So, I
It's true. Both black queens and princesses have not received some bonuses. But then after meeting the ministry has promised that for black queens, before we go for our wax with Zambia, we are going to receive our bonuses. And for princesses, we have our African games to go through. And then you will receive all bonuses. So very soon, all bonuses will change. And none of it will be.
What does it mean?
I will have to still let the ministry answer that. Because the payments are done by the ministry, not by the
Thank you very much, Dr. Ifti or Benson. So we will take the next batch of questions. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know whether I remember the question correctly, but I think it had to do with how my colleagues reacted to the bad performance of the Stars. So I'll start by saying that I share in the pain of every Ghanaian on the bad performance of our BLACKSTARS. I also share in the pain specifically of our colleague journalists who were disappointed about the fact that their lifespan in Abidjan was cut short because the BLACKSTARS had to come home. But I do not share in the act of bullying our players. As a journalist, I have been trained to support and to report on my national team. I pray and hope that that similar act will never be repeated. Because that similar act has resulted in having a second look at fines when people misbehave. And they are looking at fining Ghana for that similar act by my media brothers and sisters. It was a bad one. And like I said here, the period between the time of our exit and today has been a time for reflection by the FA and by all of us, my media colleagues inclusive. If we behave well, we know. If we can do better, we know. So let us all take and embrace this opportunity to reflect on the most recent happenings and just make sure that we don't put Ghana in a bad light during such big meets. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next batch of
Thank you very much. My name is Thomas, so I'm in GBC. My question is, when you went to Abidjan and the performance was bad, I want to find out who takes that responsibility? The players, FA, or the pool? The coach, because I let the coach was really inside. So why is it that FA, you are not involved your because if you take that responsibility, first of all, you answer that question. If it is you, okay, who take that responsibility, and why are you still in office?
There's a lot of noise here, please.
My question is to the President. Mr. President, since you assumed office, your last tournament with the BLACKSTARS has been we are expecting, as you rightly said. My question is, there is this saying that when we keep repeating the same thing, we end up achieving the same results. So why is it that 2019 after AFCON Cameroon, we came back and sacked our coach? 2022 World Cup, we came back home and sacked our coach. And recently, we have sacked our coach. Are we sure the problem is always the coach? And lastly, as a president, what is your topmost legacy you want to leave with the Black Stars? Since this is your section. Thank you.
Good morning, House. My name is Raphael, I'm a freelancer and I work with Human Creators. To the ESCOM, last time we went to Cameroon, and when we returned back from Cameroon, we observed or we saw that the technical team as well as the team manager were all sacked. We moved on to another AFCON, we couldn't perform, we came back, as my brother said, we sacked our coach. But you've not heard of the state of the team manager. So we want to know, in as much as we went to Cameroon, the team manager then was sacked. What about this time to we get eliminated out of the group stage? That you don't know the state of our team manager. Will he be maintained? And if you be maintained, what are the reasons that should be maintained?
Please, colleagues, let's go straight to the point so that we can take as many questions as possible. Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. My name is Lisandro with the Multimedia Group Limited. My question goes to the GM, and I'm glad the General Secretary mentioned the fact that we've got a lot of top journalists on the ESCO as we speak, more than ever. And I know the GM president will not joke with public perception and optics. There was a reported incident of attack on the colleague journalist when the Black Stars of Ghana went away to the US to play a friendly match. And in Ivory Coast, we also saw a video of somebody who had been linked to GM President Ketokeku, harassment journalists. And when we were defeated against Cape Verde, we saw another person in the video. That person has also been linked to the GM President, basically showing what the situation of bravado. Now my question is that the GFF president sees this, is he not worried? And if he's worried, what steps is he taking to address the issue to avoid that bad public perception about this? Thank you.
Okay, so the fifth one, and then we will pause and take the answers.
Good morning, my people. And this is a very uncomfortable situation to be in, so I pity all of you. We need to move Ghana forward. My question is simple. What is the criteria of selecting players into the national team? That's my question. What is the criteria of selecting players into the senior national team? And going forward, are we going to alter it in a way? I don't know what that is. Let's see the way forward.
Thank you. So, colleagues, we will take the answers and then we'll come back later for more questions. Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Obviously, great to see my brother. He emceed our National Service Night here at this year, 1994. It was the MC, our national night. The people see that like a pavilion. Yeah, that's why we had the national night. MC. We've been great friends and colleagues since then. Good to see you. Yes, thank you. Show you all right, so I think
think that the first question has to do with education. I think that it's pretty obvious that everybody involved is taking responsibility. The coach is taking responsibility. The players, I've seen the captain, I've seen many other players, also take full responsibility and also apologize. The FA itself, after the expo meeting, is also apologized, taking full responsibility, and is assured that it will take all the steps necessary to ensure that we do not have that kind of situation again. And so this is reflective of the fact that you have different players or different stakeholders. You have the technical team, you have the players, you have the management. And all of this have roles to play in ensuring that there is success. And it's only right that when there is failure, all such parties will have to take responsibility. So we expect that when there is success, we want to be rewarded or applauded for that success, whether we are a player or a coach or the management of the team of football. When there's failure, we also want to take responsibility. So I believe that in this case, all those who have roles to play have accepted the responsibility due. I think that that should answer the question. And then I think there was one that was talking about coaching as a team manager. I think in 2021, first of all, in 2019, the AFCON 2019 was not that was in Cameroon. Cameroon was 2021. The 2019 tournament was under normalization. If I recall, 2019 was under normalization. So, other categories was in Cameroon in 2021 and then Cote d'Ivoire in 2024, which is actually the 2023 tournament. Now, I see a mix between management committee and ESCO. The ESCO members have been elected by the GFA Congress and the different constituencies in the FA for a term of office. That is completely different from the management committees of the national teams. And if you look at the management committee of the national teams, you will find at most one ESCO member. One normally. In extreme cases, two, but it's normally one. So if you take the BLACKSTARS management committee, for example, in 2021, it was headed by Jama, who was an ESCO member. The other members, Mr. Fred Papo, Sami Kufo, yes. If you check out the membership, all of them, you realize that it is only George Amwaku, the chair, who was an ESCO member. If you look at the current, the BLACKSTARS management committee that was in charge after the Cameroon 2021, you realize that it is the vice president, Mr. Makam, who chairs that committee. He is the only ESCO member on that management committee. All the others are not ESCO members. But I say that we tend to mix or confuse the two. You have your ESCO, they have been elected, they have a term of office, and then you have the specific management committees for the national teams. Now, Cote d'Ivoire has come, we're taking steps. The announcement was about the technical team, the dissolution of the technical team. The dissolution of the technical team. The technical team includes everybody so defined in the technical team. And so I don't see this thing about in Cameroon, a particular officer was sacked and the other was a dissolution of the team. Sometimes when you have a reconstitution of the team, whether it is management, whether it's technical, there might be reasons why one or two people who were in the previous team could still be in a new team. There could be those reasons. But the truth of the matter is that I don't want us to create the impression that
somebody was handpicked previously and sacked. And now there is a new development and somebody who holds that same position is still in charge. There was a dissolution of a technical team. There's a dissolution of a technical team today. What the composition of the next technical team for the Black Stars will be, I don't know. I'm sure when we get there, we'll deal with it. Thank you very much.
The selection of players to the national team. I think the competition regulations and what we do with FIFA simply says that the player of the country, that's the first selection criteria. So if you are not a Ghanaian, you can't be in the Ghanaian national team. That is clear. What is left to the coaches. So the coaches select the players based on their game play and philosophy, and I'm sure the coaches can explain that. Thank you very much. Again, if I remember the question clearly, it has to do with some few incidents that has involved some of our colleagues in the region. So generally, the Executive Council is the appointing authority for everybody and anybody that works or represents the Ghana Football Association. People are appointed by the Executive Committee to perform specific duties. And when such persons are appointed by the Executive Committee, of which I am a member, they are expected to follow the responsibilities that have been assigned to them to the fullest. It's unfortunate that some few incidents has happened that involve some of our brothers. I will not want to go into specific details about how incident A happened or incident B happened. It's also important, like I said from the beginning of this session, that we as individuals and as a family must be honest in what we do and what we say. So for example, if Ketokraku or if the arrangements are that as per the call of the technical team of the Black Stars, training is supposed to be held behind closed doors. And Kurt is a journalist, and because I know somebody, I find my way into the territory that you're supposed not to be there. You will definitely be asked to go away. Sometimes we don't take it. We are not happy with it. But it's not Ketokraku's creation. The security guard has to follow the demands either of the team or of the technical team. And when it is that we don't have to veer into certain areas, please, just please, let's respect it. So that you'll be able to work in a serene atmosphere, the players will be able to work in a serene atmosphere. We respect all media men. I'm still a media person because none of you can take away my certificate from the Institute of Journalism. And I still inspire a lot of the younger folks. Let's learn and let's work together. This is the way. Thank you.
question is not answered. No, his topmost achievement in the BLACKSTARS, and also why
I want to win the World Cup. I want to win the World Cup.
and why are we doing the same thing?
I want to win every competition that Ghana finds itself. That's the vision of myself and everybody. And I want Pram our technical center to be graduated. And inshallah, it will be graduated. Well,
Okay, thank you. The next batch of questions.
Good morning. My name is Primary Nana Njima, and I'm Chief Editor for GhanaSports.com and Swag. My first is to do with recommendation to the GFA and the Executive Council when it comes to women's football. To me, women's football has seen a progress. We've now seen the Black Queens qualifying for the first time in so many years to the AFCON, women's AFCON. So it's a plus to the GFA, and I would like to recommend you on that. Our basic problem is to do with the football when it comes to men. When the president was talking, we made mention of the referees and coaching. My question is it true we are still, on the FA is still owing the coaches when it comes to under 17 to under 23 BLACKSTARS is exclusive? And the other thing I would like to know is when it comes to the players who were talked to coming to play for the BLACKSTARS, like Sadisu and Inaki, what is the assessment of these players in the national team? We've seen them at the 2022 World Cup, we've seen them at the 2023 AFCON. What is the assessment of these players? Was it worth going to talk to them to come and play for the national team? And the last thing is to do with the IUs. Does the FA have any influence from the IUs? There's been the controversy of them being the national team here and there. We see them in the media circles, or we hear them. Does the FA have any influence from the IUs? Thank you very much.
My name is Gideon TV. I'm JackieJ.com. Mr. President, I'm happy you made mention of obtaining sponsorships in the Premier League and other means of the Ghana Football Association. I want to ask the school, are you impressed with the coverage of the Ghana Premier League by Star Times? And also, I want to know, is it that the association uses its resources to hire additional cameramen to cover some games which are not live on TV when there is an existing contract between the Ghana Football Association and Star Times? And I also want to know, on 25 August 2021, the FA announced a 4-year deal with DDP Adoring Limited to provide pitch panels and other advertising boards to all league centers, and it never happened. It only happened at the Accra Sports Stadium, where the DDP pitch panels were seen. All league centers, nothing was seen from DDP. I want to know what actually happened to that contract, because ahead of the 2022 World Cup, we saw DDP displaying the BLACKSTARS players at the airport, when the contract stated on the FA's website that the contract is about the Ghana Premier League to provide all those pitch panels, and also billboards will be placed in all the 10 football regions, but none was being seen across the country. I want to know the reason and what happened to that deal. Thank you.
And then before Osman answers, please take only one question, then there is an opportunity for more questions. That will be allowed, because there are a lot of people who also want to ask questions. So one, to select the most important question.
Good morning. My name is Osman Fraser, Fox FM F-Jan broadcaster. I have a public interest question here, and for that matter, I'm going to say maybe sanitary. Now, with me, I'm going to so the question is, Mr. President, the Wabante said, Christian in Olidi Ghana, and the call after a buying the number, now if you don't support him, and it's in the only who every president, who the members need to bring armor. It's the time of war after us, and the number of percent will do so or fail. Now, more coach and more pay, and the never. If you buy and I set up a new team, I will lay a coach for the other. Entesa into the modern same. I feel GF know the Krataba or Tibet Pagan of Fuinacho. Said you see after us now, and yet ye now the penal. The Wabantis are there in an arm mountain. I can afford to do LANCASTER more and Sana ever. Now, the beside this could say, Enche Yabia de Case Bed Tower, almost comes as if we came, and Yasasanic crack. Now, Escood Kuswa, I think, say, more the announcement about which there's an MJB for Beba. If you see, league on air to us, Yamia, the man out community, Pepe so big, and at this could not do as to getting a new sponsorship for the Ghana Premier League. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'm Raphael from Media Japan. There is, from my observation, a direct correlation between how nations use their FIFA forward money and the kind of development that happens in their football or that happens within the game. Since 2016, about $8.6 million have been assessed by GFA. Unfortunately, we do not have a 8% facility where our national teams can train. Yes. We do not have a decent facility where our national teams can train. Shocking in terms of the usage of the money, it's how it has been used for Ghana. So when you look at it, you see administration, you see equipment, some of them going for as much as 3.6, some of them $2.9 billion. I ask this simple question. Based on what has happened, the disastrous campaign that we've had, have we learned anything from that? Mauritania and the likes are developing their game with the amount of money we are receiving from this FIFA forward. Unfortunately, ours is the opposite, and that is a reality. What have we learned from it and going forward? How are we going to judiciously use that money for the benefit of the game? And the Vice President has chaired a committee that looked at the bonus structure of our national teams. If my memory serves me right, with Mr. Kukufian serving as the vice to that particular committee. What happened to that document? And why are we still doing the same old things in incentivizing our national teams with money, which is not yielding results, when extrinsic motivation, compare that to intrinsic motivation, you know that intrinsic has been. Why are we always fueling this drive of using money as an incentive to get the national teams to perform when it has woefully failed over the years? Thank you.
I'm very happy, especially when people ask questions on the forward scheme. It's very important we all pay attention and listen. Before I answer the question, it's very, very important as practitioners of journalism to also go deep beyond the ordinary to know the truth. This is very important. It's part of our responsibility as a journalist. So it is also not good when we preach what we think is right, but which is not the truth. In my attempt
to seek the mandate of the football family, I studied the forward program. So I'm proud to say that I'm one of the people who is very, very vested in the forward program. It is the reason why today our country is able to access funds from the forward program. Let us not forget that the forward program, to use my own adjectives again, is distinctively distinct from the goal project. Let us not confuse. We here came to office on October 25, 2019, and not in 2016. So it will also be wrong for anybody to start saying that the FA has received 8 million, 9 million. I have not received 8 million, 9 million from the forward. This must be made clear. In fact, when we assumed office, we had lost the opportunity to access FIFA Forward 1.0. We had lost it because the forward program has regulations and is time bound. When the cycle is gone, it's gone. And Obi Kachira will say, this FA SRT said, or accessing forward funding from 2016, tell the fellow it is not true. It is not true. This FA came into office on October 25, 2019. Now, let me bring specifics. MAs, which is Member Association, which is Football Association, in every country must identify the needs of the industry and meet the application requirements, which is carefully set up by FIFA to be able to access forward funding. And therefore, let us get the understanding right. It's also wrong for you to think ahead, or for you to think that you can think ahead of the ESCO and those of us who are taking decisions on our planning. As I stood here in the morning, I spoke clearly about specific FIFA forward projects that are due to start in August. 7. It's a 4-year term. We have to plan over 4 years and ensure that we go according to our plan. I can't run the race according to what Nigeria is running in this race. Neither can I run the race according to what Zimbabwe is running, or Mauritius. When Mauritius started assessing forward funding, Ghana was not assessing forward funding. Let's get the understanding clear. When lots of countries started assessing forward money, Ghana was not able to assess forward funding. In very recent times, we even read of a country having constructed 14 beaches. Is that not true? What turned out to be the true case? It was false. If you remember, there was a news break that the Gambia have used forward money to construct 14 beaches. Maybe basic calculations, not people are also saying. So in case we missed what I just said, let me just recap. I have said here that we are constructing floodlights on the AstroTurf in Tampram. I have said here that the entire land space is going to be walled or fenced. I've said here that we are going to construct a 40-bed accommodation facility. I have said here that using the same forward money, we're going to construct 2 top-of-the-range natural grass pitches. I've also said here that we're going to invest in the procurement or purchase
of vehicles for football development in the regions. These are our identified needs. I've also said, and we have done it already, what did we do? We have invested $742,000 in the construction of the first ever FIFA standard AstroTurf in Upper East. Is that not true? This is the judicious application of funding available to the FA. Please, we're running our own race. We are not running the race with Angola. Their needs may be different. For example, Canada is a member association, belongs to FIFA. They also access FIFA money, same like Ghana. They are not into construction of pitches. They are not into construction of boreholes. They are not into construction or purchase of footballs. They use the money to service the newly created Canadian Premier League. That is Canada. So we are all different. Some countries solely use the foreign money to run their leagues. Some use their money to pay national team coaches. What I can guarantee is that through the hard work of the Secretariat, headed by the legal department, Ghana is at the minute assessing funding for FIFA. And we will judiciously apply same to the development of football. I have said here that one of the legacies I want to leave is to do what? Is to make Pram Pram come again. And by the grace of God, it will happen. Thank you. Okay, so 777. I didn't mean football meeting. I don't know about before when you are Dr. James, we see I didn't want to have football. Yet you know, Eddie, your mama to serve football. Time I'll wrap, we see I'm here, a captain BLACKSTARS. I'm a journalist. One winning after mine in 1982, and then you refer to them as the legends, the heroes. 7-7. Yeah, it's a big glory. One more, one big glory. It's shade, you may see the first major trophy you winning here, locality, U20, they qualified for U20 World Cup. They're winning AFCON, U20, they won. They won. Mauritius, community and World Cup. Many anti. Manipulating. I can see people. BLACKSTARS are the most premium product. It's a person BLACKSTARS being. At the end of the day, we can't be saying, say, get to come every Chris using at Sema. That Chris using every game, man. Get about it. Get ready. Fancy you can answer. Fancy now. Now every game, Chris using by we winning. To say I can say I can be no, I can watch them. Semi-finals. And then but the truth of the matter is, when you have a TV and a ball, the BLACKSTARS in the way. It's been time in success. And I've had and blessed to have worked and to have known a lot of big coaches. Thank God. Really rest in peace. Ferguson. Avram Grant. When I've had a chance to demand of them, I demand performance. If I said, it's not going to be sharing the team now on the screens, as you see a team playing good football and winning games. And this is the demand I'll make of every coach that works for Ghana. What do you mean? He is on the expo. he demands performance, and he's going to demand performance from every coach I ever employed. What's it mean? It's in patro. And continue with me. Can you hear? Egypt 2 to move. First game you lose, you move. Last game you lose, you move. And say they continue to support the cause. God willing to get the right coach, and with patience, they will take us to the conference.
Okay, so
Let me take DDP. We had a partnership with DDP, and like you said, the intention was to support the promotion of the Premier League and other FA products. We have challenges in the deployment with the sports authority. So that affected the relationship. Now, the next one is apology. Of course, the ESCO had a meeting, and then the apology came following. There's no delay because the group had to meet, and then had to look at everything. We come out fully. And so there was no delay. We had to meet, and then the meeting was done. We had to make a reflection and everything, and then payment to other national team coaches. So currently, it is only the BLACKSTARS that the coaches have contracts for which the Ministry for Sport supports us with the payments. The other coaches are not on contract, so they are on when they win the allowances and bonuses that are given is what they are on. What we've done as a FA on a few occasions when we are able to create resources is to support those coaches with allowances, some allowances. The idea and which we worked toward was to have all the coaches on contract. Currently, we are still engaging with the ministry to bring this to fruition. We've had a lot of deliberations on this one. So currently, the current situation is as and when we gather money, we support coaches, apart from the bonuses. The other one has to do with bed power. Yes, bed power.